Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rhythmic Practice playlist. Today we're going to go back to an old video idea that I haven't done for a while, which is using rhythmrandomizer.com and training some rhythms out. Today I've got it set so that I can draw on this a little bit so we can talk about all the rhythms here and how they function and how they work together. So, to start, when I'm looking at a rhythm that I've not figured out before, I often will just look for the downbeats. I'm going to mark those with a highlighter, right? Anything that lands on a downbeat. Now downbeats will be the numbers as I go to write in the counting for this, right? And we'll see how that works in just a second. But what I want to do is always keep my eye glued to where those downbeats are going to happen so that I always know where I need to go back to as I'm looking for and following through in my music. So now if I go to write in the counting, I'm in 4/4, which means that there's 4 beats in a measure, that's what the top number tells me, and that the quarter note gets 1 beat, and that's what the bottom number tells me. So all of these quarter notes that start on the downbeat just get the number and they stay exactly as they are. So 1, 2. Then for the 8th note, I have to divide that in half. So the first one lands on a downbeat, just like I have marked, and then the second half will get the second half of the beat, 3 and. For 16th notes, we divide that into 4 equal counts. So just as before, the highlighted one gets the number, which is 4, and this is my last number because I only have 4 beats to work with. And these other 3 16th notes get E, and that's a tough symbol to draw. So for this first measure, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and And for the second measure, once again, the highlighted notes will be our downbeat. So those are where our numbers go. So 1 and 2. Now this is a rest, but don't let that confuse you. Remember that rests still get a certain amount of time. This in particular is a quarter note rest, which means it'll get the same amount of time as a quarter note. So that one's 3, and usually when I don't need to perform a rhythm, I'll put it in parentheses. So this is 3, but I'm not actually going to play that one. And then at the end I have 16th notes. First one once again landing on 4 with E and to follow. Okay? I'm going to clap this rhythm once while counting over it, and then I'm going to clap this rhythm once without doing any counting over it. You're welcome to join me for either. I'll count for 4 beats before jumping in on either of them, so you can join me if you'd like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and 1 and 2, 3, 4 E and a. And once more without me counting over top. Here's your measure of counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our second example for today. This one will include the 8th note rest. The 8th note rest will push one of my 8th notes to be an offbeat. For today, all of them will still be downbeats. So let's go through and mark the downbeats in this song. Here's one with this group of 2 8th notes. The quarter note is a downbeat for now. This 8th note rest is a downbeat, which means that this 8th note will be on an offbeat, and then this quarter note lands on a downbeat as well. Once again, we have our 8th note rest here, that is a downbeat. The quarter note rest is also a downbeat. We have the first of these 2 8th notes as a downbeat, and the first of these 4 16th notes will be a downbeat. As I go to write these in, what's nice about this is that I could go through and just preemptively write in all the numbers on these downbeats, because I know that that's where they're going to go. So I can just write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, as a reminder, I'm counting to 4 because that's what the top number of my time signature is. That's how I know what number to count to. But let's fill in the blanks for all the rest of these rhythms. These are 8th notes, so I'm going to split this in half, so we'll have 1 and 2, 3. This is an 8th note rest, and this is a singular 8th note, so I've got another 8th note that I'll need right here. So 3 and 4. Done with this measure. 1 and 2. This is a quarter note rest, so it takes all of beat 2. 3 and 4 E, because this is 16th notes, and Just like before, I'll give you a measure of counting and then clap it once while counting over top the rhythm and once without counting at all. So here's your measure of counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 E and a. And another measure of counting if you want to do it without me counting over top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes notes that are in isolation, like this particular 8th note right here, can be really difficult to try and do on their own because you have rests on either sides. I think people discount how scary rests can be when you're playing rhythms. And here we have our final example. Notice the 2 rests here. That may come out to be a problem later, as I was just discussing, but I'm going to go through and mark all of the downbeats, just like I have been on all the past examples. Here's our quarter note. That'll be beat 1, beat 2, beat 3 is this 8th note rest, and then beat 4 is this quarter rest. Beat 1 of the next measure is the 16th note rest here. Beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. The nice thing about marking all your downbeats first is then you can just go through and write those numbers out, and you don't have to worry about what all the rest of the things are just yet. Of course, we're going to go through and mark all of those as well to make things nice and easy. Now, just like before, I'm also going to put parentheses around the notes that I'm not going to actually play, so that way I don't have to think about that either. I think it's just a great way to sort of mark up your music so you don't have to do extra work later on. Okay, so now let's mark all the notes that aren't highlighted. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is that whole beat of rest. 1, E, and B2 is all rest, B3 is all rest, 4, and. Now, just like with all the other examples, I will give you 1 measure of count-in, and then I'll clap it once while counting over it, and then I'll give you another measure of count-in and clap it once without counting over it. Here's your measure of count-in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, and. Notice how long those 2 rests are at the end. So here's your measure of count-in with no count over this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. 3 examples of rhythms, all written out and marked so that way you can go back and try them out yourself. Once again, the website is called Rhythm Randomizer. It's a wonderful way to go practice your rhythms. You can set it up however you want to. This has been another episode of the Rhythmic Practice Playlist. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have a question, it's likely somebody else does too. As always, I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.